Oh my god, we gotta mute this. We gotta mute this part. No, we do. We have to mute this part. We have to mute this part from the stream because I'm pretty sure this is gonna trigger the YouTube copyright infringement. And we won't be able to get this up on YouTube.
Okay. Okay, review time, huh?
I don't know.
Review
Is it review time? Because this could go really quick.
Oh, there might be a stinger.
Might be a stinger or something. We don't want to be interrupted amid a coitus, Aru. We don't want that.
But we can at least give. Okay, so I'm going to tell
initial
you
impression.
right away.
Initial review impression.
I'm going to tell you right away. Like I said, while I was in the middle of playing this. This is not as good as Stick of Truth. Stick of Truth really was like an episode of South Park, and it wasn't just fun. It was okay to play, but it was more fun to watch. This one was not as fun to watch, and the gameplay was even though it was a different kind of gameplay, it still felt the same. It was just kind of There wasn't a whole lot of gameplay there that I felt was really thoughtful, except for maybe a few fights. And ultimately, it was just this is just an easy game, even on normal. So, as a South Park episode, it's kind of in the middle. It's not great. Not as good as Stick of Truth, yeah.
I unmuted it. Did you fight Morgan Freeman?
I have not fought Morgan Freeman
Bunny.
yet.
No, you're the Tickle Bunny. Oh, hey, kiddo.
Been out playing with your friends, honey?
This is a great town, isn't it?
I love it here. I'm so glad that all those years ago we came clean about our child's past. I feel like, I don't know, like our lives are different now somehow. I love you.
And I love you. In fact, kiddo, would you excuse us for a moment? Mommy and Daddy have a little business to take care of upstairs.
Oh, you little sneak.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Did you really think you could stop bad things from happening?
Butters.
Oh, man.
Don't you see that chaos always catches up with you?
I love it.
You've tried being a hero. Why not let your darker side free? There's only one truth in this life, little kid. No matter how hard you try to change the past, your dad will always fuck your mouth.
That's gotta be
Man.
some DLC shit, right?
You know,
Damn.
I gotta say, I think Butters and Captain Diabetes are the only good things to do. And Spontaneous Butte. I'll talk about it later. You go talk about your review.
Okay.
I'm gonna kill the sound just in case it fucks things up.
There's always so much promise when it comes to the South Park guys, because sometimes they'll just make an episode and it's kind of and other times they will just hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so up until like a couple of years ago, I was not paying attention to South Park at all. I remember when it first came out, I watched like the first 2 seasons or so, and then I just kind of let it go. I didn't really watch it at all. Then a few years ago, I decided, well, they have all the episodes online. I don't have to pirate it. I can just watch it all, at my leisure. And I ended up watching almost all of it. And I was constantly amazed at like how great some of their episodes were. Like, I was just rolling on the floor just how funny some of those episodes were. Only some, not all of them. But it was just like, they're very hit or miss.
I remember,
and it's the same thing with their games here. They had a pretty good game in the first one. It was good.
I think the only one I remember being funny was the one they made fun of streamers.
Yeah.
I thought that one was actually really funny. And then I saw a couple others and I'm like, these are awful. So I kind of agree on that one. That they can hit it really big, but most of the time they don't.
Yeah. So as far as the gameplay goes, this is just kind of a typical... okay, maybe not that typical, but, for a turn-based thing with an occasional real-time element, it's a little...
It's too easy
rough.
for number one. I mean, just sitting here watching you play, most of the time you just like, bam, it was done.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, once you get into the rhythm of it, it's done. I mean, you once you figure out what the mechanic is the first time, if you lose the first time, you win the second time. There's no losing the second time.
It's the gimmick of what it is you have to do, and then you're done. And it's also just the inherent design of a turn-based kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It feels that way because a lot of times I would see you would spend 2 or 3 rounds healing, and then you spend 1 round doing all the damage and it's done. And it's well, if you had just done that before, it would have been done earlier. Why did you bother healing? But it's just the inherent nature of this kind of a game. Yeah. And I've always had problems with that kind of a turn-based thing when it's like this, when it's this kind of depth. It's just not very deep. So yeah, I'm on the board on that one.
Yeah, let's see. So with as far as one of the people in chat mentioned
viewers.
That's what we should be calling them.
If we're going to
viewers, okay.
Use the proper nomenclature here.
I mean, they're just people in chat as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, I'm not the one running the show here. So
I can't believe I just called you fuckers viewers. You all douchebags. That's all.
Somebody mentioned that this game was good up until that bootay, the spontaneous bootay. And so here I am.
That's the only good thing. Okay,
he agrees.
Butters, Captain Diabetes,
yeah,
and spontaneous bootay. Definitely the high points of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, easily they're the highest point. Whew. But I mean, there's so much. It was so boring. I have 2 issues here. Number 1, the game is boring. The game is boring. It's not, just like you said, it's not interesting to watch. It's not a good episode of South Park. We just watched a bad episode of South Park.
Yeah.
It had a couple of good moments, but not nearly enough.
I would put it either an average episode or maybe slightly below average.
And number 2, I had to sit on my ass and not play a video game while you forced me to watch a shitty episode of South Park. So
I didn't force you to do nothing. You could have just let me stream this on my own if you
wanted this. You told me you wanted this. But here's the other thing.
Viewers, I have to ask you something.
They wanted this. I had
Would you guys
wanted this.
mind if I were to say play a game using his channel?
You'll never do it.
Without
never get
him being here.
You will never get it. It will never happen.
He doesn't want me to do that.
It will never happen. Tulud. That is the equivalent of fucking that Taiwanese guy Char playing on Eris's channel. How would you feel about that, Tulud? How would you feel? Mr. Insomnitech himself. You load up the fucking ATP, he's got 2,000 viewers, you're waiting for the bagoosh, and all you hear is Char going, bagoosh. How's it going, everybody?
Are you
Char here.
Are you really comparing me to Char?
Insomnotech here.
Are you really comparing yourself to Aerith?
Aerith isn't here right now.
Or perhaps it's the other way around. Perhaps you fear that
we're gonna play some Yakuza.
And I am the Aerith, and I'm gonna end up bringing in more viewers than you do.
We're gonna play some Yakuza. And Aerith, and there may be some gang clan. Good way of putting it. Listen, T-Lud's on my side. He knows there is a sacred line. And you doing that crosses it. Damn, Char impression is fucking on point. Please don't clip that and send that to Char. He will eviscerate me. I don't want to deal with it. He will fucking kill me with computer parts. He can put computers together. It's frightening. Damn, alright. No, this is one of those things where if you're ever going to play a game... In my room, I mean, it's going to get streamed and I'm going to have to sit here. But the nice thing is that it's very, very rare for this guy over here to ever want to play a game.
It is rare.
And usually you get it on PC anyways. So, thankfully, it's not really probably going to happen in a long time. I mean, this is probably it. Normally we play co-op together. That's what we like to do, is co-op. We do. But, there's really just not any couch co-op games these days. There's nothing you can do. Fucking, I mean, it's 2 problems for me. This game is shit, and I actually had to sit here and watch it and not play a game. I mean, I've never done that. I've never sat here and not played the game, and I still had the responsibility of being this charming ass motherfucker and being on point with my commentary and shit. So this shit was really difficult. Anyways, as a final review of this game, like, I just think it's trash. I think it's trash. I mean, there's not really anything redeemable from the mechanics. The mechanics are not redeeming. The humor is... South Park can make good, funny humor. They can make funny humor.
They can definitely make funny, and that was definitely the case in the first game.
Yeah, and I guess the first game, like, I didn't play it, I didn't watch it, but I was told about the sex scene where your parents are fucking and you have to, like, walk around and shit. Apparently that was hilarious. Mm-hmm. And then I watched it, and I thought it was pretty funny, but, you know, I've been spoiled, so what can you do? Nothing even remotely like that in this one. Other than Spontaneous Butte, which had some fucking tight-ass music. There just wasn't anything in it. So, I don't know. Maybe this was more of a cash grab for these guys. I don't know. But honestly, I hate the mechanics, too. I hate that it's structured this way. This weird turn-based kind of RPG thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was supposed to be more of like a strategy, you know, turn-based strategy, rather than just an RPG like it was last time.
Where's the strategy? I guess that's the question. It just doesn't seem to be much of any strategy to it. You just kind of...
I mean, yeah, there's technically strategy, but it wasn't challenging.
It was very simplistic. Here's the gimmick, earlier, do the gimmick, and you're done.
If you don't know what the gimmick is, play the round until you discover it. And if you die, you'll end up beating it in the second round because you'll know what the gimmick is. And you don't even have to over-prepare for it. Like, there was at least one time where I thought maybe I should over-prepare for a fight. Yeah. And it didn't need to turn out that way.
I mean, it's really strange to me, but it all would be forgiven if it was just genuinely funny. It's true. And then I guess and they proved that they could make a funny game with the first one. So the fact that they didn't live up to that potential is that's just how it is. Them's the breaks, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I think that's what I heard about this game, is that people were very disappointed with it. It just was very disappointing all around. The mechanics were boring, and the story was just boring. Just didn't have anything going for it. But again, I like Captain Diabetes. I like that guy. Is he a real character in South Park?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is a character with diabetes in the show. His name in the show is... I
don't remember the guy. Because I'd be interested in keeping a tab on
Scott Malkinson. He doesn't show up that often, but he's there for a few episodes.
I wonder if he's as funny on the show, because he's a fucking great character.
Of course, his gimmick is that he has diabetes.
Right.
He was a good character in this game.
Yeah.
Because not only is he kind of a funny character, but
he's true to
his
form.
Ability to be a tank is incredible.
Yes.
Because you can constantly keep his protection up. And that is that's great for
It almost felt like they made it broken just because. They were like, let's just make it broken because it's fun.
And I mean, you've got one where he can have an attack from the side if he wanted. Mm-hmm. And he can do a front rush, so he's got a little bit of range. And it's just really nice to have.
He is fucking buff, isn't he? I like that. They don't think they took risks at all with the comedy, unlike Stick of Truth. I mean, risks or just genuine kind of really thinking things out. I don't feel like they put much of any... I feel like South Park works really well when it works the way like old Simpsons used to work, right? It was just layers of comedy. You know, just a joke that runs onto a joke. Like, they kind of had I kind of like what they did at the end there, where, like, Cartman's talking with his hands, and then the audience is like, shut up, I want to hear this, you know? Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny. How the audience was into it, and they all bought it. That's kind of... Because just the ridiculous nature, and then the additional ridiculous nature of everyone being cool with it. I like that kind of continuously layering on the jokes. That just didn't happen very much in this one, so there's not much you can do. I mean, yeah, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, but listen, I'm glad it's over.
I'm glad it's over.